Welcome back, everybody, to the World Series of Sealed. We're coming down to the wire. Only 3 players remain between Firebat, Zalae, and StrifeCrow, but only one of them can go home the champion for today. I'm Frodan. I'm joined by Luke from Esports Arena, or ShamonaHe. What does that username come from, by the way?
It's actually a Michael Jackson reference.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
ShamonaHe.
ShamonaHe.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Everyone says it like that. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I guess it's just because the E kind of
Yeah,
ended there. So
it makes sense.
I apologize.
It's all good.
So we're coming down to the wire here. Our next coming match will be Firebat versus Zalae, where we're going to head over immediately to the dealer and see what is coming up for this upcoming match.
Are we good? There we go. All right, so we got Firebat and Zalae going up against each other for the first time today. $800 ante, or 800 gold ante now. So we can go ahead and put that out there. So that's, I believe, all but 400 of Firebat. Those are hundreds. Blues are 100. All right, so we got our 1,600 in the pot. All right, and then let's remind you, we just saw your decks, so we'll let Firebat tell us what the 3 decks that he's bringing are.
All right, I got Warlock, Hunter, and Mage.
And what are you using for game number 1?
Game number 1, I'm using Warlock.
Warlock. And what are we seeing in game number 1 from you?
I have Mage, Hunter, and Rogue.
Starting with the Mage again?
Mage. Yeah, sorry.
All right. So we got the Mage versus Warlock. And
Nailed it.
you do have the most chips, so you do get the first action.
All right, this many.
Or that many.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna
So
call.
all right. So Firebat is going to be all in for an additional 400. You can have that back.
Oh, thank you. Boy, that's quite a lead.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people get lucky.
Oh, fighting words. All right,
It's all
guys.
skill, man.
Good, good luck in game number 1.
All right, so
All
I
right.
believe we have Zalae starting with Mage, which we've seen this Mage a couple times, and it's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Yeah.
I think Firebat is a little bit afraid. He says that his deck doesn't look good, but don't underestimate. Don't judge a deck by its cover.
That's right.
Because Firebat feels like even though you might sleep on the cards that he have in his deck,
What's up?
he feels like he has a lot of good stuff
You
coming
jelly,
out
bro?
of it.
Dude, I mean,
Looks like some friendly banter
It's all right if
going
you
on.
jelly.
some people got to roleplay. It's okay.
I understand.
You fill a void in their soul.
Why aren't you keeping cards? It's better to keep cards.
Look, man, my mulligan's terrible. I had nothing good.
Oh,
But, I mean,
I got all gas.
yeah, I mean, your mage deck's busted. That's fine. I mean, I'll win the other ones.
Okay. So you're giving up on this one already.
I mean, you got 2 pilots,
You can
shredders, 2
concede now.
mana worms, 2 belchers. I'm not going
makes-
to concede now, though. Anything can happen.
What makes you think I only have 2 mana worms? What if I played 3? Happen.
Then we would
Hey,
take
man,
all
I'm
your
Reno
chips
locked.
away.
That's right. That would be cheating.
Yeah.
That
and I
would
think
be
I think Blizzard would be kind of upset
That's
too,
how I
because
open
somehow
every
you
game.
got 3 of 1 card in your deck. So
It must be nice. I mean,
It's
you
real
needed
nice.
to carry you this far, right? So
God, it feels good.
makes sense.
It's okay if you're salty. Oh, just play the one on the right, I guess.
Something needs tinkering?
Huh?
Well, they're gooning all of our job for us.
I love
we
it.
don't have to cast.
They're having a great time. Just
I'll be back in another 10 minutes. I'm going on break number 2 here.
So, and remember, guys, this is elimination for Firebat. If he loses, he will be knocked out, and we will have our finalists. But if he does end up surviving through this round, he still has a chance to make it to the finals. So, as he said, anything can happen. So we'll see if he can make a comeback against Zalae's Insanity decks.
Well, I think Firebat already chalked up this mage deck being too strong. It's got a lot of high-value cards. Most importantly, it's able to seize a lot of tempo and finish the game. Zalae has a couple of choices here. He could go for Sludge Belcher. He also can go for Mech Warper Point, Tinker Town Technician.
I really like this play here.
It's the most power on board. It's 6 instead of Belcher's 3.
And it
And,
actually puts him in a really good spot for next turn, because if Firebat's best play is to play the Belcher in this scenario, Zalae could actually reversing switch, trade in his weakened minion, and Clockwork Gnome in the same turn. So we can develop and kill off the Belcher and push some damage. So it's going to be pretty detrimental to Firebat's overall game plan here. But maybe if he can survive to Brand Bronzebeard Antique Healbot, there's always a chance.
Now, that's a little bit optimistic, but it is a possibility. And who knows what this Mortal Coil will draw. Oh, jeez.
Because now Firebat doesn't really want to tap because there's nothing he's really looking for. He really needs to survive till turn 8 so he can brand antique heal bot.
Yeah, but even then, that's a losing proposition. You can compare it to Reno Jackson.
Right.
It's almost similar stats even. You heal all this amount, but if your opponent's controlling the board in a dominant fashion, it's like it might not even matter because by the time you get to Bran and Healbot, he's going to play 3, 4 more, maybe even 4 more minions.
Yeah, this is one of the main reasons that cards like Twisting Nether became popularized because you can Reno Jackson into taking the board back with Twisting Nether as well. So, but unfortunately in Sealed, you don't always have options to cards like Twisting Nether, which really puts you in a position where you're lacking AoE. Especially we've already seen the Hellfire used as well. So Firebat's not in a very good spot.
I mean, he's basically in a position where he's going to lose unless he draws something dramatically helpful. He picks up the Dark Bomb.
Doesn't really do too much. Because if he
yeah.
can't Dark Bomb and develop the Belcher or the Healbot. Otherwise, this turn probably would go a lot better. We probably will see
Drain Life.
Joan with the Drain Life. Okay.
So he's a little bit out of the range. In fact, Zalae is 1 damage off lethal.
Never mind.
Zalae is 4 damage over lethal.
As you said, it's a
5 damage.
99.8% chance to top deck the Fireball, right?
Yeah.
If we're doing our calculations correct on the analyst desk here, so.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Just a bonkers deck, but I think, you know, in the end, this is kind of what draft formats can be. Sometimes you just have a profoundly good deck, and then all of a sudden there's like nothing you can do about it. So a job well done there by Zalae, but it's one of those situations where, you know, Firebat even said it, like, I drew awkwardly, and they're even still talking about it.
That was the hard part.
Yeah,
Still being salty.
The hard part's over. From here, it's nice and easy.
Yeah, yeah.
We can recover.
We're going to have to see if Firebat can live up to his talk and come back from a 0-1 deficit here.
Yeah, keep in mind these guys used to be former teammates. You saw Firebat and Zalae used to live in the same house. In fact, back when Firebat was on Team Archon, he said one of the few people he could hang out with on a daily basis was Zalae.
Right.
He felt like they bonded really well and
Used to
they got
stream
along
together.
personality-wise. You can even see the way they talk to each other. It's like it just feels like the right amount of energy conveyed on both sides. So don't be fooled by the banter back and forth. They don't hate each other. In fact, quite the opposite.
Exactly. See what they're saying. Oh, all right. Looks like Zalae's actually going to keep the Desert Camel. That's kind of a optimistic keep there. He's probably just assuming that with his low curve deck, he'll just draw into 1 and 2 drops.
Sure,
but
sure.
Didn't really work out too well in this scenario.
And the converse of that is that you often draw a little bit awkwardly, and you don't have plays from turn 1 to 2.
And I'm getting outplayed.
And Zalae understands now what Firebat's feeling, where Firebat's able to curve, and he has an opportunity to coin, but instead, because his opponent took it slow, he's also going to life tap.
Yeah, he's going to optimize on Zalae's slow start and try to pick up some early cards while he can.
It's always scary to play Desert Camel against a Warlock, because you know there's a lot of ways you can get punished.
You got to do what you got to do.
Another Void Walker.
I feel like that did not go in Zalae's favor.
Yeah, but I think that was almost
Necessary. Yeah.
given the context of his hand. He has multi-shot to climb back on the board, or he has an opportunity to address it with like an Animal Companion, etc.
Yeah, so we could see I mean, Fell Cannon's not very strong here. You probably want the body, but it's kind of fortunate you can't actually play it. Oh, wow, he actually goes with the Demon round.
Yeah, he's afraid of Houndmaster. I think that's the biggest threat.
It's pretty reasonable. Zalae pulls Captain's Parrot, which, if I'm not wrong, is the worst one you can get off of Web Spinner.
Depends on how you look at it. It's the worst one if you have 0 pirates, but if you're playing Pirate Hunter, it's actually one of the best you can get.
You showed me.
It's all about optimism.
There it is.
Wow, Zalae matches the Desert Camel with another 2/4 minion.
Yeah.
Firebat going to take this extremely seriously in Hellfire. But all initiative has been given back to the Hunter, and all of a sudden,
Great, man.
even though Zalae ended up passing the first couple turns, it's been very good for Zalae to take initiative like this.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see the Fell Reaver there. Why do you think Zalae opted to not play the Fell Reaver? Especially with the Owl in hand, being able to silence your own Fell Reaver? It seemed probably like a relatively optimal play. Is he afraid of losing tempo to a BGH?
BGH could be part of it. Warlock could also have some removal. Wow, that's interesting. I don't know if that's That's a hard question to ask because right now Hunter's Mark actually doesn't get followed up by any single target damage like a weapon or an Elven Archer.
Yeah, it feels like the Ogre is probably the best play at this point. One of those situations where if you don't really have a strong optimized play, just play on curve and drop the biggest minion you can. So it looks like Zalae's going to go with that and proceed to the face. We don't see any heal out from Firebat quite yet.
Well, he's got Bran and
Oh, the
Farseer.
Earthen Ring. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even see that.
That can be good, but it feels... Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I like the Belcher a little bit better, though, because in the end, if you're putting out a 6/6 backup, Bolt of Soldier just kills it, or even worse, kills Bran, and then Punisher with, like, Unleash the Hounds.
So we have kind of an interesting option he could pull off here. He could Hunter's Mark into multi-shot, clearing off the 2 minions. He could also Owl first, but I feel like saving the Owl is probably a little bit safer. And then after Hunter's Mark multi-shot, he would lose the 6 damage, but he'd also be able to develop Animal Companion.
I don't even think he needs to use Hunter's Mark here. He could probably just, like, bump to the 3/5 and then multi-shot.
I think he might be...
Okay, this is also fine, too. If he ends up silencing it, going for the very clean kill, so that way his Bolt of Ogre doesn't take any damage.
Yeah, he wants that 6 damage to the face, which you definitely can't blame him for. Unfortunately for Zalae, there's a second Belcher in hand for Firebat, but I mean, it's probably Mortal Coil first and then maybe drop the Belcher. But that still puts Firebat on a back foot. It's pretty hard.
You need something big here.
Oh,
Another heal.
it's actually pretty good.
So the Belcher does stop the second Bolt of Ogre from attacking the face. But he's going to need a little bit extra. I guess he does have the Bran Farseer and the Bran Refreshment Vendor, both viable options.
We'll probably see some power cards coming out from the Zalae pretty soon. I'd like to see the Fell Reaver, especially since Zalae hasn't seen any form of removal on this Boulderfish Ogre that's been around for so long. It's very unlikely that Firebat actually has an answer for it. So I think the sooner he plays it, the sooner he can close this game out. And he can play the Captain's Parrot and Hero Power too. Oh, no, he can't. Captain's Parrot costs 2. That card's so bad.
Yeah, the card's pretty awkward for sure. Unless he has a pirate that we're not expecting.
Oh, wait, does he? Oh, he's going to defend her.
Zalae's too good to play pirates.
Oh, nope, he's going to play.
Actually, I take that back. There is one viable card you can play in a hunter, which is South Sea Deccan. If you have weapons and you want to be really aggressive, but that's in more of a constructed format, and it's a very off-meta decision.
Yeah, with enough Glaive Zuka, South Sea seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So Firebat picks up the Gelbin Mechator here. Now,
You can heal for 8, go back up to 17 with the Freshman Vendor.
oh, it looks like he wants to maybe... I wonder what he's saving the brand for. Wow, that seems pretty interesting.
He's probably considering that he wants to use Brand in case he draws Healbot, or he's trying to use this to lure his opponent into overextending into the board.
So Huffer's lethal.
It is.
Leok is not lethal. Wait, is it? I don't think so.
No.
Well,
That's lethal.
That's how you do that.
Yeah, that's pretty much the game.
100%
And,
Huffer.
I mean, he has the Defender of Argus for the extra BM. I like that play.
I love that play. And this is going to put a quick 2-0 from Zalae, making Firebat our 3rd place.
Oh, that felt a little anticlimactic, considering that Firebat came all the way back to try and double up, but Zalae has put him out of the tournament and has taken the remainder of his chips.
Yep, my decks didn't have real cards.
Yeah, so this is going to be a that's 3rd place for Firebat, and this makes our finalists Strifecrow and Zalae.
Yeah, 2 very powerful deck builders. And it looks like we're going to have a quick word with Wade, our dealer, along with our players, Firebat and Zalae.
Sounds good.
All right, so congratulations, Zalae. You are moving into the final. Firebat, so close, 3rd place. What do you think about those decks?
Yeah, well, the mage deck was pretty good. I liked it a lot. So, I mean, Zalae had some really creative deck building choices. He put in 2 Mana Worms, 2 Piloted Shredders, 2 Belchers. I was really impressed by his decision making there, really figuring out that those were good cards. Yeah. So, well done. I mean, the better player clearly won.
And not to mention the double Camel Spider, double Fall Deer Raider. It's also strong.
In my defense, I only had Mana Worm. I had one Mana Worm. I just drew it every time.
Oh, okay. There you go. I mean, this is a good deck builder and good player. I'm really impressed.
You don't want to draw the second copy.
This is true.
All right. Well, congratulations, Zalae. The chips are yours. And that means you are going to be playing against Strife Crow in the grand final. Sad to say for you, you're going to have to redraft.
Sneeds number 3. Let's go.
Yeah, you did have the Sneeds in both your deck 1 and deck 2.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But good luck with that on the next drafts and everything. Any last words, Firebat?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Cloud9 for sending me to this event. Really appreciate it. I had a good time. Shout out to Esports Arena for hosting this pretty sweet event. And I've really enjoyed my time here and happy I was able to compete.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. Caster's up in the desk. I don't know who's up there right now. I do believe that stream Trump and Purple are going to be casting the live draft between Zalae and Strife Crow. So you get to hear their thoughts on their deck building for a little bit. But until then, I'll send you back up to our casters.
All right, thank you very much. I don't actually see Trump anywhere, so it looks like we're going to have to stall while we find him in purple. As we get ready for the final broadcast game, it's going to be Strife Crow versus Zalae. Two players who I think are very great deck builders. You know, I went to Zalae back at the Team Brawl, and I was like, look, I think you're one of the better players here. I really look forward to it. And then unfortunately, he didn't get to really perform there with his team, but I feel like coming in this event, it doesn't really surprise me to be in second place.
Yeah, not at all. Both these players are really, really strong competitors. And just so you guys know, the way that the finals actually work is the final match, it will be played in a best of 5, and both players will do a brand new draft, which we're going to watch live with, as you said, Trump and Purple. So whoever has the least amount of chips is automatically all in.
Okay,
So they
that's
just
interesting.
they instantly have to push
So
all in.
everything is all in from this point on.
Essentially, yes.
Cool.
So they push all
I like
in.
this.
Now, if whoever the chip leak wins the first best of 5, then they win the entire tournament.
Gotcha.
Now, if the person who is in last or has the least amount of chips wins, then they get obviously the chip pool, and then the next game, both players are automatically all in.
All right.
So this will never flip flop forever, because potentially with this format it could flip flop forever.
Sounds complicated.
So yeah, exactly. So if the loser wins round 1 or the first best of 5, then
All
there's
right.
just last one best of 5, and the winner of that takes home the victory crown thing.
Cool. The most important thing, though, is that they will get an opportunity once again to redraft. They can't just carry the momentum. Everyone's kind of pointing at Zalae's mage deck. He's got to do it again, and that's the whole point. Can you have the consistency throughout the tournament to keep building the best possible, both because you have to make the best decisions, but also because we've been playing for a long time.
Right.
Looking forward to it. So we're going to once again have Strife Crow and Zalae draft decks, and we're going to have some special guests in Trump and Purple, if we can find them, to come down here and cast along with you guys. Give some pro insight.